I would love to hear your opinion on the cultural differences that sometimes we have between continents and countries or even regions as far as what's important. Like the US, for example, has a very strong if you're not working, if you're not producing, then you are inherently worthless. And even the part of Italy that my family comes from, the Veneto, has a very similar ethos where it's like you must always be working. Working is important above all things. And but then you have other countries like France or whomever that seem to put the value of living your life and enjoying your life above the idea of production for a corporation or whomever. And how do you see these different cultural shifts playing out right now?
So, if you want to have a big life, you have to be a big spender of your energy. You have to have energy expended in big ways, which means you have to have a big reservoir from which to withdraw those funds. It's energy. But if you want to have a big life, you need to have a lot of expenditures aligned with what matters most to you. And most people don't get, if you do you want on your tombstone, you were the hardest worker that anyone ever knew. You worked harder than anyone else.
Right.
Or, I doubt whether that's it. But if they ask you, you put your full and best energy into things that mattered most to you, and you put in there that I became the best possible father or mother, son or daughter.
Hmm.
I made a difference in the world and made others feel better and stronger and more resilient by my example. And I've given an enormous amount of energy to things that matter deeply to me that are not so much about me, but what I can do for others. Yeah, that's work. But do you always want to work 24/7, 365 because that's what you want on your tombstone? That is insanity because it's not going to produce anything
I
in
love it.
terms of fulfillment. And you
Yeah.
can become an absolutely miserable person treating others very badly, and yet you have amassed quite an unbelievable record of achievements and accomplishments. And that unfortunately, I've had the opportunity to spend time with people and to be with people that's exactly what's happened. And it's very tough to break that addiction because that has been the way they've been taught. That's the way ESPN, society, everything in America, and some countries are very different.
Hmm.
But we all want to have a big life, which means we need to be big spenders, which means we need to really spend. We don't want to be on the sidelines and just sit there watching people go by. If you want to have a
Right.
big life, you got to be out there doing something big, grinding away, expending energy, but it should be aligned with that tombstone. What does a big life look like? And what are the achievements that are going to actually ring true for you at the end of your life was really worth spending your life energy on? And
Right.
maybe basketball was part of that. It helped you become a stronger, better person, inspired a lot of young people. But my guess is you don't want on your tombstone, I was the greatest basketball player of all time in terms of free throw shooting percentages. I doubt whether that's going to be it.
Right. And what do you think about we're valuing the wrong things because perhaps to your point that we're disconnected from our own maybe empathy to ourselves or our own feelings, because I think if most people could connect to those, I'm sure it'd be pretty obvious that like being the top producing lawyer in your firm is not something that you're really feeling that is giving you a lot of um, fulfillment is maybe one thing if you enjoy what you do, but like there's that emotional aspect of these relationships and all of these things. Do you think we've become a little disconnected from ourselves?
Well, I mean, we're a fully integrated system, and if you want to have really the very best life possible, you have to integrate all the systems: the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. You may give your life to others, and you might be a physician, but you don't take care of yourself. You've ravaged all the time you have with your family. You haven't spent a lot of time with family.
Hmm.
Your whole life, all you've done is give to others. And at the end of your life, you actually hate medicine. And it's
Right.
and you wanted to get out as quickly as possible because you didn't find the balance in all the things that matter so much to you, even your own health. So
Right.
you can't have a big life if you're not taking care of yourself, not getting a lot of energy, a lot of rest, good diet, nutrition, exercise. So we try to build an integrated model that respects the way the system was engineered, and then to try to get the priorities straight and develop a mindset that reflects those priorities, and always check your coordinates. Always check, do I have this right now every day? Do I have my bearings right? If I'm going to get home, am I on the trajectory that's going to get me there? And what is home? Home is where ending up where you want to end up, and remember the legacy that you would like to have on that tombstone that truly reflected who you were when you were here. And if you constantly look at that and don't bury it, you're likely to make better decisions. You're going to make the hard choices, and you're likely going to have a much more fulfilling journey as opposed to waiting for the end for a big hit. And
Right.
that might be an Olympic medal or getting into the Hall of Fame or whatever. And I mean, that to me it's a critical insight into the way this system is designed.